It's Professor Homa. I'm back with part 2 of the employees exercise that I was working on. And the last thing that we did is we entered a new field called gender. And there's nothing in the field right now, so we're going to have to enter this. And we'll do this manually, and I won't make you watch me do all this. But one thing I have to do, and this is actually number 9 on the sheet that came with that employees that we did in class, so it's a 2-page sheet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put in, if I see I have Chad here, basically that would be a male. So if I'd put a male, and I'm going to put in K and hit return, and look, there's my validation message, or my validation text says please enter F or M. So I have to hit OK. It won't allow me to put in K. So I'm going to put in male for Chad Schiff. And even if I put in lowercase m and I hit return, it should force it to be a capital M. And I thought I had done that. I'll have to double check that. Actually, let me do this right now. I'm going to go into my design view, and I didn't do that. Actually, I forgot to do that the first time. So I'm going to go enter this. I'm going to go edit this field and make sure that there's only one character, and the format is capital letters. That's with that greater than sign. So I'm going to hit return and go back to my datasheet view, and I have to save the table. Okay, now it's a capital M. So now when I did that, so I thought I had done that previously, so now if I put in a lowercase f or m, it'll force it to be capital letters no matter what I put in. So anyway, I don't want to have to do this for all these, and also it's hard to see because I have to look across here to find Chad and Kathy. But what I could do is I could highlight these fields, and I could go in here to records, because these things are records, and I could go to more, and I'm going to say hide fields. And they're hidden. Now I have the names right next to gender, so it'll be very easy to put in F, to go to Mark and put in male, to put in Timothy, put in male, and you could use your arrow key and just kind of go down. Male, Mina, I'd say is a female, and so on. Female, male. Okay, I'm gonna pause the video right here and fill these in, and then I'm gonna go back and do some filters with this data. Okay, so I just finished up putting in all these F's and M's. There's a couple of Chris. We gave Chris a male. There's a kid named Robbie. I don't know what adult would go by Robbie, but there's a Robbie here. So I think that's the only one we had a question about. So just so you know, there's 53 records. If you ever need to know how many records there are, it's showing 53 down at the bottom. And even when we filter, we'll be able to see that. I'm going to scroll back up to the top, and I'm going to unhide the fields that I had hidden so I could see my full database again. And to do that, I'd go into more and say unhide fields, and it'll ask me which ones I want to unhide. So I'll just check the ones I want to unhide. They're showing unchecked, so that's easy to figure out. So that's hide and unhide, and it's from the more area of the records tab. Okay, now back to the sheet that we're working on. There's a number 12 that says find and replace. I'm not going to do that right now, and I'm not going to do all those streets and drives and all that stuff. But what I would like to do is just do some filtering here. Now that we did gender, if just for example, if you wanted to find out how many females are working here out of 53, you could go to this gender field, and there's 2 ways to do this. One, you could go just click on the arrow, and if you just uncheck all these other ones and just leave it checked on F, you could hit OK. And that filters all the females who are working at this employee, or female employees. So there's all my females, and how do I know how many there are? If I look down here, it says 24. So 24 females work here. And I thought I had 25 when we did it in class, but anyway, that's what I come up with, 24. And to you can check these things to make it go back, or if you hit this toggle filter, it'll take you out of this filter view. So if you go to toggle filter, it'll put it back the way it was. Okay, and now another way to do that, other than the way we just did it here, I could go over to, I could just click, if I wanted to know females, I could just click on any female, F, and I could go over here and say filter by selection equals F, and that's another way just to filter by selection. So I could do equals F, and there's the same thing, 24. So it's just, I could do filter by selection up here, or I could also do filter by selection over here, and that's just filtering out, so it's telling me how many females there are. And if I toggle filter, it goes back. If I wanted to figure out males, I could go in here to M, and I could do filter by selection and say equals M. So that's basic filtering,